Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post another video here. Just another recent finds video. I'm still going through that same process that I've mentioned in most of my recent videos, where I'm still kind of doing the purge and trading and selling and picking up new stuff. So this is just kind of the next new batch of things to come in. And one thing too that maybe I'll do a video a little bit later of it, just to kind of share what I'm doing. But you know, John Techhead had a video a little while ago where he asked us about the vinyl burnout, and kind of our thoughts on that and everything. And when I did the reply in my video, one of the things that I talked about was those rules that we put on ourselves as vinyl collectors. And I just kind of bring it up just because I've noticed kind of a big one for myself as I've been going through this purge process. When I first started it, I would look at a record just kind of being really, unless it was something extremely, extremely rare or something, just being very objective about it and saying, okay, if this has all these flaws or whatever, then I'm, getting out of my collection. But at the same time, there was a piece of me here and there that kind of felt, but gosh, I really don't want to get rid of that record, or what if I want to listen to it before I find another copy, whatever the case may be. And I just kind of realized that, why I'm setting this rule on myself, that just because I'm trying to, near mint or mint out my collection, or just, really, 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 really good condition my collection, why does that mean that I have to get rid of, in terms of just ownership of stuff that maybe isn't in perfect condition? So what I've actually done is I've started a kind of a second collection, more or less, where this main wall here and then the other one over here with the 16 cubes, that's going to be my actual collection, where all of my great condition, all that stuff. But then I have one more shelf that I set up that's going to be strictly stuff that I've pulled that doesn't quite fit into that great condition collection, but at the same time I'm not quite ready to get rid of it yet, because I might still want to listen to it while I'm waiting or seeking a better copy and all of that stuff. And so that did kind of make me relax a little bit in terms of just some of those key things that I didn't want to purge. And really, I think the biggest piece of that was there were so many albums I had where, not so many, but I mean there's probably a good 75 of them over there now, at least. Yeah, I'd say 75, maybe approaching 100. There were albums where maybe they're older albums and the covers were just absolutely great, but then the records were a little bit sketchy, or vice versa. The records were mint, but the covers were a little bit sketchy, but they were also things I wanted to keep. And so sometimes with those older albums, it's sometimes really hard to find the best of both worlds at the same time. The mint cover and the mint LP. Oftentimes it's one or the other. So I thought it also makes a lot of sense, maybe, with these ones that I kind of want to keep, let me just make two categories over there, where I have, these are all the LPs that are mint LPs or near mint LPs but need better covers. And here are all the perfect covers that just need mint LPs. And so I kind of have those two sections along with a couple other things set up in that second separate collection. So I don't know, just thought I'd kind of throw that out there in case anyone else has ever struggled with, or getting rid of some albums, or start going through the process of trying to to mint or near mint out your collection or something like that. That was something I found to be just really helpful. And again, maybe I'll make a video kind of showing how I'm setting that up and organizing that at some later point. But let's kind of dive right into it. So these are some of the new finds. Great edition right here. I'm glad they reissued this. Just Soft Machine, their third album. For those of you that maybe are not familiar with Soft Machine, a little bit of everything with them. They're kind of eclectic, and they can be somewhat psychedelic at times. They can be very jazzy at times, and kind of all over the place. But this is definitely one of my favorite albums by them. So that's the third. It's a 2 LP set on clear vinyl. Nice 180 gram vinyl too. Again, you guys know I'm not a big fan of the colored vinyl and all of that, but I actually like the clear 180 gram that comes in this. It's a very heavy, very nice vinyl. So that's Soft Machine third. Also, even though I have an original pressing of this, the cover was really, really rough, so I've got a reissue of Soft Machine 5. Again, very jazzy on this side, and same thing as 180 gram clear vinyl. And here's an interesting group too. I found this online brand new for like, I think it was $6 with the order that I put in, so I went ahead and picked it up. But it's Human Scab, Thunder Hips and Saddlebags. I heard a couple clips of this on iTunes actually, and decided to pick it up. And the easiest way to describe this album is, slide over here a little bit, is that imagine like your kids are in the basement playing around. They have, you know, a bucket and a spoon, maybe a, you know, stick they brought in from outside or something like that. And then they just start like banging on them and everything and just start making up songs, you know, like a lot of kids do. And then without them knowing, you slide a microphone in the midst of them and you record what they're doing. That is exactly what this album is. And the first time I heard a couple songs off of it, I just thought it was just kind of neat, really. And so when I found it for only a few dollars, I was like, let me go ahead and pick that up. But if you get a chance to check that out, it's kind of interesting, kind of different. It's not going to be something that's necessarily musical, as more as entertaining, if you will. But went ahead and picked that up. I got a new copy of, not brand new, but I found a mint copy of Jethro Tull's Aqualung. My old one was kind of rough. Not exactly sure when this was pressed. It's not a new pressing or new reissue, but it's certainly not an original either, but still just a classic, perfect condition, which was nice. The next two, I actually want to give thanks to Brian. Right? Yeah, Brian. Shamrocks Records, I think is his username. I apologize if that's wrong. I think it's Shamrock Records. But he posted a video a little while ago, and I was kind of checking this stuff out, and I had no idea that these albums had been reissued until I saw his video. And so I'm definitely very thankful that he mentioned it, because this is definitely one of my favorite albums from the 90s right here. But Gin Blossom's New Miserable Experience. Really, really loved this album. Loved it when it first came out, and have always liked it a lot. You know, songs like Found Out About You, Until I Fall Away, and my favorite song by them out of all their albums, which is Hey Jealousy. I love that song. But yeah, man, thanks for showing that. Thanks for mentioning that, because I would have never even thought to go back and search. And in light of that, I also saw, of course, that Congratulations, I'm Yours, or I'm Sorry, had also been reissued as well. So of course here you have Follow You Down, and you know, again, a lot of great stuff. So two really, really good 90s reissues there. Little 12-inch that I found, 3 Times Dope, Funky Dividends. This definitely takes me back to my high school days. This is an album I used to listen to quite a bit. I mean, I still have the same cassette that I had back in high school, but this was pretty much the only song I listened to off of, and I loved it to death. So to find that for a couple dollars on a 12-inch was great. Little Frigid Pink. Another good addition there. Glad I tried this one too, because this one goes back to some credit that I had at a store, and you know, just didn't have a lot of anything else that I wanted at the time, and I saw this sitting there. I thought, let me kind of check it out, and sure enough, it was pretty darn good. I knew I had heard it before, and I remembered liking something about it. I just couldn't recall exactly what it was. So another great addition there. And I picked up a reissue of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. I do have one of the original Robot Rape covers, and actually I thought I had gotten rid of the other original pressing I had this, but I still had it in my collection, so I think I'm going to go ahead and keep all 3, and you know, just Appetite, everyone knows that. Here's another one that I picked up mainly, again, because I had the credit. It wasn't one that I would normally buy, at least for the cost, on my own. and that is Faith No More. Again, great album, just not one that I would pay, $30 for. But all the classic hits on this, including Epic, you know. So yeah, definitely glad to have that in my collection. Some other great reissues that came out here. A little while, well, I'll kind of show it first actually. Peter Gabriel. And I was going to say, a little while ago they came out with that reissue where they were the double LP 45 RPM, I believe they were, which were like $37.99 a piece. Well, now they've done just the regular single LP reissues. So that's nice, and these were like $19 each. So I picked up that one there, the one I refer to as Car, and then also nice reissue of So, which is probably my favorite Peter Gabriel album. And again, that was 19 as well. So great pickups there. Let's see some of the other ones here. Oh yeah, I almost forgot this one. Should have mentioned it earlier too. More Soft Machine. This is 6. So one of the next ones I'm looking to get my hands on is Soft Machine 4. That's one that I really need. But yeah, and again, just more of the same stuff that I mentioned earlier. And again, this is the 180 gram clear reissues. Excuse me. And the Byrds, Mr. Tambourine Man. This is one I've wanted for a long time and just never found a really good copy of it. So I was very happy to stumble across this one. This is I think this is a 1970 reissue of the album, something like that. But yeah, really, really good condition, especially with the all black faded cover. I was really happy because when I first brought it home and I was fiddling around, and I took it out and it looked absolutely perfect, and I put it on my turntable, set the needle down, and I didn't hear anything at all. And the first thing I thought was, oh, I must have changed the source to CD or hit it by accident. So I go and start looking for it, then the music kicks in. And I was like, wow, that's how clean this LP is. I thought the needle wasn't, or the source wasn't even on phono. So it's really nice to get a nice copy of this in that kind of condition. Another one here that right along there with the Epic was one that I picked up mainly because I had the trade value, is Pink Floyd. So this is the Endless River. Really, really good album. And again, it's just not one that I normally would pay $40 or $35, $40 for out of my own pocket. But definitely a decent album. It's, Pink Floyd just kind of doing their emotional things, the way I like to put it. Matter of fact, I think only the last song, if I remember correctly, has any vocals in it. I've only listened to it once. But I think it was only the last song on the fourth side that has any type of vocals. But it's all just that, like I said, Floyd just doing that emotional flow type of thing. Definitely a lot of things I liked about it. There's a lot of dead wax on each side, though, which I guess maybe depending on the length of some of the songs, but it almost seems like they could have just made it a 3-side LP as opposed to stretching it out to 4, because you find yourself having to flip the records so frequently, then you look down at the records and you realize there's like 2.5 inches of dead wax, and so I'm not sure why they went that route, but still, amazing Pink Floyd. I think the first side, Things Left Unsaid and It's What We Do, I think between those two songs are really the kind of songs that you put on your turntable when you're trying to show someone how good your system sounds, or or why it's important to have your speakers set up in the proper positions and all that kind of stuff, because there's just a beauty and like a shimmery clearness to the way that album comes off the turntable. I mean, it really is just kind of beautiful music, traditional Pink Floyd, and the packaging itself is awesome. I mean, it's almost like it feels like it's almost like a sandy type of like dusty grit to it, even though it's not really that. But that's the feeling of the packaging, and even the inserts are so nice that you don't want to touch them and get fingerprints on the inserts. And of course, the vinyl is just very nice, 180 gram black vinyl. So very, very nice packaging there. Oh, and it's not a music on vinyl. This was just a sleeve that I had that was big enough to hold the album, so I just still had that music on vinyl sleeve there, so don't get that confused with anything. Moving right along, another new one here, Always. And actually, this album I discovered by watching, I can't remember her name now. There was some girl here on YouTube that was doing a couple videos, and not like a VC member, but you know, I just all these, for lack of better terms, I'm older now, so I can say all these kids that are just, you know, doing, let me show my vinyl collection, let me show my vinyl collection, and they have their little Crosley turntable right there, and you know, they're 15 or 20 records, and but I do watch a number of those videos though, just because sometimes they throw out stuff, and I'm like, what's that? Never heard of it, you know, and sure as crap, this was one of them. She talked about this Always, and I was like, let me check that out. And it's, you know, really kind of cool stuff. Very, not exactly, but the feel goes back to kind of the 80s, somewhat synth poppy type thing. And I mean, I listened to the whole thing last night, and I really liked it. So you never know where you're going to discover good new music. Now, the rest of these here were replacements. And this was another one that I literally jumped up a little bit. I saw this guy that looked at me kind of strange when I pulled it out of the shelf. But Rolls Royce's Greatest Hits. I had a copy of this that was really, really bad. I think I actually purged that like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I got rid of it. There was just so many pops and everything, and with great songs like you know, I Want to Get Next to You and Wishing on a Star. Those are such soft and low-key songs that any pops or crackles or dirt, or it's just, they just shines while you're playing those songs. So I've been wanting to get a clean copy of this forever, and they are so hard to find. You know, all over eBay, but none of them are necessarily clean, if you will. And I was digging through the stacks at this local store the other day, and sure enough, pulled one out at only $6.99, and I was like, ugh. I was freaking pumped when I pulled it out. And then I did the whole, you know, you saw how clean the cover was, and I was like, please let the vinyl be clean, please let the vinyl be clean. But pulled it out, sparkling minty. So I'm really, really happy that this is darn near on the Grail side for me to find a mint copy of that. So that's awesome. Picked up a new clean copy of Dancing Undercover. I purged this a couple years ago as well. So nice to get a clean copy of that. And you guys know Rat very well. Nice mint copy of Saturday Night Fever for only $3 too, which is nice. Built LP's perfect. Great stuff. Must have for any soundtrack collection. And a replacement copy for Laura Branigan. Yes, I said it. Yes, I'm showing it. Little bit of dirt wear at the top, but at the same time, for only $1, definitely replaced the copy that I had. So, you know, this is the one, of course, where she had Gloria on there and a couple other things, but I've always been a fan of Laura. I like her Self-Control album better. And the last thing I'll show here, 3 CDs that I picked up. I finally got a good copy of Slayer, God Hates Us All. Which he really doesn't. He loves us to death. But, you know, if you want to title your album that, that's okay. And then I also picked up a copy of Ray Charles, self-titled. As you can see here, it's a Japanese CD there. And then I also picked up a copy of What I Say, Ray Charles. And I'm glad the guy who runs this store is starting to get these particular CDs, because his store is probably the one where I get the most credit from. And so as I'm starting to get a little bit lower on some of the vinyl that I actually want to buy from him, seeing that he's getting some of these CDs coming in gives me another option to kind of utilize that credit. So definitely going to want to pick up more of these, because I've been really trying to build on my Japanese CD collection over the past year or two as well. So anyway, there you go, VC. Just again, some recent finds, a little bit of everything as always. So let me know what you think, and we will talk to you guys soon.